Right, as many of you know, I have recently moved and I've managed to get the mill set up in my new workshop, and this is the first project from the new workshop. It's a tool holder. It's inspired by, well, I've been wanting to make one for years, and Nobby Clark, I'll put a link in the description to Nobby Clark's video. He made one recently which I thought it's about time I got round to making it. In fact, I first saw it many years ago on a channel which I watch regularly, which is Rusty Knox's channel. I'm sure most of you will have heard of him, but I'll leave a link in the description anyway. And this is the tool holder I'm going to make. I'm not really sure what it's called. Some people call it a diamond tool holder, some people call it a tangential tool holder. I'm not sure if that's really portrayed it correctly, but that's what I'm going to make. I haven't got any measurements or anything like that. I'm going to just wing it initially. It's obviously one of these where the bit sort of sticks up there like that, and initially I'm going to make the tool holder out of a piece of wood because I don't actually know the angles. Well, I do know the angles because I'm going to work it out from my little black book. I can see the approach angle and the top rake are both 15 degrees, so I'm going to probably do a couple of 15-degree cuts. Now, because it's a compound angle, I need to raise one end to compensate for it. I'm not 100% certain. I know there's a formula to work it out, and by the time I get on the internet and look at it and work it out, I could have made up this wooden blank and fiddled about with it to get it how it should be, because once you do one angle, as soon as you lift it, that angle changes. So anyway, it's all in my head, so I know that's not a lot of good to you, but I'm going to make the start. I'm going to get this set up. Obviously I've got to get it set up at different angles. I haven't quite worked out what I'm going to do yet, but I will, and I'll take you along with me, and we'll see how it works out. Might not be 100% angle perfect, but as long as it works, I don't mind. Right, so initially I've got to set this to 15 degrees thereabouts, and put that back somewhere there. I'll get that about 15 degrees that way, and of course I've got to go 15 degrees the other way. So if I set that up in there, something like that, I can get 15 degrees that way, 15 degrees that way, and then I've just got to work out how much to tip it up to get it where I want it to be. So let's get the bottom one set to 15 degrees to start with. I know that's a pretty crude way of finding 15 degrees, but I'm not too worried about it. If it's a degree or two out, I'm sure I can compensate for that in the grinding of the tool. But anyway, that's at 15 degrees, so I'll get that clamped down now. Now, getting this set up at 15 degrees is obviously a lot easier, because I can just put a little angle block in there and set it up from there. Right, I've got that perfectly level now, so what I'm going to do I'm going to mill a cut in there. In fact, I can just see I've actually got this the wrong way round. Should be that way. Yeah, because the cut needs to go like that, so I need to change this to 15 degrees the other way. I'll just do that and then I'll come back. That's the whole point of this trial and error. Right, and with the use of my precision wooden bevel, I've managed to get it set up now. Yeah, we're pretty firm there. Just another little nip on there, just to see what happens. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a 10mm bit in there, in here, obviously, and I'm going to run it across there like that, so I get the cut, and then I'll measure that angle and the other angle and see how far I'm out and see what I need to tip to adjust it. I've got a 10mm 2-flute cutter. I'm going to give that a go. I've never tried it in wood before, so we'll see what happens. We'll just have to spin it up pretty fast, I think. Yeah, just going to change the collar in there. Right, this will be an interesting exercise. Not really sure how much I can cut in one go, but right, let's get that out of there. Measure the angle. What I have learnt from that little exercise is the tool doesn't go back far enough, so I'm going to have to adjust this and pull it further forward on the vise, because I'm reaching the limit, the forward limit on the table. Well, that is pretty much 15 degrees, I would say, and where it's going to show, I would think, is on this bit. Well, funnily enough, that's 15 degrees as well. So if I tip it, it will change the angle inwards on this side. It will come in here if I tip it that way. If I tip it that way, it'll take more out of the back, but how I've got it set up at the moment is giving me 15 degrees with my precision equipment both directions. It seems to mount in there without any twist. I know there should be some twist of some sort, but perhaps it's because it's such a short distance it doesn't matter. So when that goes in the tool holder, this corner here will approach the work. So by the time I grind that off, this has got a slight back rake, that's got a slight back rake. Yeah, I'm going to just stick with that, 15 and 15. And then cut it in a piece of metal and see what happens. Actually, I've just taken it over to the lathe, and when I put this in the lathe, I've got some rake back this way. I haven't got anything that way, so I'm wondering if I tip the angle slightly, whether that's going to give me a different type of rake back. Let's try it. Right, so if I now tip that by about 4 degrees, something like that. I'm going to mill that at that angle and see what different results I get. I'd actually put the relief the wrong way. I tipped it up like that, and I really should have tipped it down like that. So let's try that. Bit too close to the end, but doesn't matter. I can still put the tool in and try it. But that has actually given me the correct angle now. Probably just a touch over. It's probably slightly under 4, I think. But yeah, anyway, that's going to be good enough. Right, what I want to show is that angle there. I'm not sure if you can see it, where that tip of that corner there, by adding in the 4 degrees, before the back of this tool was actually parallel with the fence, and similarly this way, if I put that on there, you can see it comes out at an angle to the wood in the correct sense. So that's actually exactly where it needs to be. I know this angle is going to change slightly once I grind that back, but it's going to go in the correct position. So that looks like it's got the approach angle and everything all okay. So I'm going to stick with the setup, just under 4 degrees and 15 either way. I'll make a metal one and see how it cuts. The only piece of steel I have that's going to be anywhere near big enough to make this is this 25 by 25 offcut from something or other. But anyway, let's get that in. Have to overhang that a bit, I think. Alright, nearly forgot the 4 degrees. Alright, let me set that to 4 degrees. Right, a brand new 10mm bit. Put that in there. Right, I think that's going to be a nice position for the slot, so let's get it underway. Really sure how deep I need to go on that. I suppose ideally I've just got to go far enough to be able to clamp onto the tool bit, and for that to clear here. So a little bit to go yet. Right, I'm down to the depth I want now, so what I'm going to do now is come back up to the top corner, and I need to just flatten that off, ready to make a cap, a clamping cap I'm going to make for it. Rather than just put a screw in, I'm going to make a clamping cap. that stands about 1 millimetre above this face, so I can make a little clamping plate and screw it into there on that side, which should put that in the correct position. So pretty sure now that yeah, I have the correct position to take this out now, because I don't need this angle anymore, because that's a flat plate. Yeah, I'm going to take it out now, take it over to the lathe and have a look at the angle on it. Right, what I want to try and demonstrate is the approach angle and the front clearance angle. So square off the tool post. Let me see if I can clamp that on there so I can demonstrate that a bit better to you. Clamp that on there, and then I can move this and point a bit better, I think. Where are we? Bearing in mind I haven't ground this yet, so the angle will change slightly. Yeah, right, if I clamp it there, I think I can demonstrate that by showing sort of touching that tip there, and then there's a clearance angle there which will be slightly more when I grind it. And also, if I put the scale on there, you can see it runs out here, which is giving me the clearance angle on that side. So when I grind that off flat, that will be the tool in its correct orientation. But I'll bring it back, I'll show you once it's ground to its correct position. I'll bring it back and show you that angle, but I think it's working out at the moment, considering I'm only really guessing at it. Proof of the pudding, of course, will be if it cuts. So anyway, I'm going to crack on with it, cut it down to the size I want. The blade snapped. Right, new blade. Let's get back to cutting this then. Right, that's the basic shape now. Tool will go in there like that. That goes in the tool holder. Just going to make a little cap for that and clean all of this up, clean this up down to, cut that down to an angle, which I might do in the vise with a handsaw to start with. Right, what I've had to do now is set it up on the little plate I made, and just mill this down to the correct dimension, which is 10 millimeters from the edge of that cut, which is the dimension I've decided. It's not a right or wrong dimension, obviously. But anyway, I've milled that down, or start to mill that down. I'm just going to get it down to the 1/2 inch which I want in there for the tool, and then I'll take it out, put it in the normal vise and blend that in. I've just done a couple of passes over here. We've got some definite ridges, so I'm going to have to try and align this a bit better than that. Could be that I've aligned the table and this vise isn't very good, so I'm going to have to align the vise. Right, that's that side cleaned up. Right, I've got to this sort of stage now. We've got the tool going in there. I made this little cover for it, which fits on there. What I'm going to do is just machine this cover up, make it look a little bit nicer, and put a little bit of a relief on there, because when this is in the tool holder and the if you've got a dead center or a live center coming across, you want to get as much room here as possible. So I'm going to just take that corner off, clean it up a bit, and then I'll bring you back. I'm also going to put the screw in here to operate the clamp, but I'm going to do all of that off camera because this video is sort of getting on a bit now, and I want to try and include the testing of it if I can in this video as well. So I need to just crack on with this off camera. If there's anything interesting, I'll bring you back, but I'm not sure if there will be. Anyway, that's what I'm going to do, and I'll bring you back when all that's done. I've got it sort of up to where I need to be, sort of chamfered it off a little bit, got a bit of shape to it. It's got the groove in to hold the tool. This is the tool. It needs cutting down a bit, but just for testing that'll be fine. Tool goes in there, this piece goes over there and screws down and clamps it in. Got a little locating channel in here to hold the tool where it needs to be, so that just screws into there. And I'll put the tool in the wrong way round, just to show you that mistakes are easily done. Right, hang on, I'll be back in a minute. I'll get that the right way round. Right, there's the tool in the holder. Right, I've got the tool in the holder now. Let's get over to the lathe and try it out. Right, need to set the tool height. I can't remember whether it's 89 or 79. Check the height of another tool. So long since I've used the lathe, I can't remember what the tool height is, for goodness sake. Yeah, 79, not 89, so we need to come down quite a bit with that. I haven't set the lathe up. This is the first time I've used it since I've moved, so I don't know how true it's cutting or anything like that, so this is basically just a test run. Only to see if the tool cuts. That's all I'm interested in at the moment. Right, zero that, and we'll go in. Let's try taking a 5 thou cut. Well, it works. I can't get right up close to the jaws, so that's identified that issue. Let's take a 2 thou cut now. The angles look to be okay. With a bit more speed. And 2 thou. That's a pretty nice finish. That's a pretty nice finish. I did put a slight round on the back of the cutter, but yeah, it's a pretty nice finish. I'm going to try 5 thou now. And a finish cut. That is a nice finish, very nice finish. The angles look okay. Unless anybody knows different. I think I'll put that down as a success. Right, I'm going to end the video here because it's been going on a bit, but what I'm going to do is just modify this front corner very slightly, and also what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a little bit out of the, I'm going to make a special tool holder for it so I can get the tool down further. I want to get the tool down further so that I can have a bit more stick out on the cutter. Not that it matters, I mean the cutter's fine where it is, and the only downside to using this type of operation is I've got this screw sticking out there, so I might recess that in a little bit as well. So I think they're the things going forward, but I'm quite happy with the prototype as it is, and yeah, it's worked out as well as could be expected. Quite pleased with that. That's all, folks. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, hit the like button. I would also appreciate it if you would click the subscribe button, because that will enable me to grow the channel so that I can keep making these videos. Please leave a comment or a question. I do read all of the comments and reply to as many as I can. Thanks for watching.